Okay. So in 2001, a week before September 11th, my wife and I and my two little girls, they were ages 3 and 5. We moved to France that was me at 34. We moved to France because I wanted to get out of the country because I didn't like George W. Bush, right? In retrospect, where are you going to move now? To Mars? Get away from the fucking orange parasite? But some people would have said it was the best job you could actually have. I mean, when I first started, I didn't know what French money was even worth. They said it was 10,000 francs a month. I thought, ooh, 10,000 francs. That sounds pretty good. Well, it wasn't good. It was shit. But I was paid to eat and drink it was on the golf course, eat and drink with France's captains of industry and, what they call PDG, the guy that runs different factories and shit like that. And I don't know if you know what this is. I found this in my barn. I found 6 of them. But this is called a pétanque ball. And it's like les boules. The bocce ball that the Italians play with. It's a little bit, it's metal and it's a little smaller. And it's a lot of fun. So I got paid to eat and drink, lunch, dinner, with these carafes of wine that were limitless. Just they were constant, and the best food ever. It was just wonderful food, good wine. And then after lunch, we would go back to we'd leave the clubhouse. We'd go back to the mansion where the school was, the English school for French managers. And we'd play, if it wasn't raining, we'd play pétanque. And I got quite good at pétanque, by the way. I love that game. And I love bowling too, like American style bowling I love. And anyways, I got paid decent money, but I was gone all the time. I worked from, let's say, 9 in the morning until 9 or 10 o'clock at night, with breaks in between. And I lived like 25 minutes drive from the golf course to my home. And often I would just hang out with my mates. I made lots of friends, English, Irish friends there who are also teachers. And they saved my ass moving to France and not having, I didn't speak a fucking word of French, right? So being with these people who were so kind and welcoming, and as a Yank, an American there, you're quite exotic, and they kind of gives you license to act like any old kind of, they think you're a movie star. I'm not kidding. I mean, they're rare. Americans are pretty rare in France, unlike the English who just live across the channel, So, and I already had a big ego. I already thought I was the next Hemingway, Turns out I wasn't. But anyways, this job was about drinking, eating, and playing pétanque, basically. And I was like a man whore, kind of, when I think about it. And but I was also a businessman because I'd been in publishing in California, and I was very good at that. And but what I didn't like about being in sales is that you have to sell yourself. You have to pretend to be someone you're not, and you have to pretend to like people who you don't necessarily like, etc. It's just, that's the nature of the game of sales, right? That's why you get paid the big bucks, right? And I'm not saying you have to be a liar or misrepresent your product or whatever, but anyways, so I took that same skill set and that same desire to increase business as my gigolo teacher job on the golf course. And, as my marriage kind of fell apart, then I started, I started when I was take a woman home from dinner somewhere. She'd say, "Oh, you want to come up to my apartment?" And the apartment on the golf course, and I'd say, "Yeah, why not?" I'd had a few, and so I became really this somebody who I always knew was in me, which is a cad, a jerk, unfaithful person. Because I never really wanted to be married ever. I've done it twice. I didn't want to do it either times, but circumstances. And so, yeah, drinking, fucking, occasional grammar lesson, teaching them how to present themselves in their companies, by writing, we would write together a presentation, what they did, whatever. And I liked it. I liked it fine. The problem is that I gave so much that job, and to the owner of that job, I gave so much of myself that I kept expecting a return, a bonus, right? And I never got one. And then I got fucking resentful, right? And I think it was like after 3 years, I said to the Irish English owner of the school, I said, "Hey, I've been working my ass off. I've been having these fucking people come back here, by making friends and being nice to them and, promising sexual favors in the future, not really, but, promises of romance, and you ain't give me shit, you motherfucker. You ain't give me a goddamn fucking thing." He's like, no, I have. Look at your latest check statement, but payroll statement. I looked. I'm like, goddamn, $13 extra after 3 years. Fuck you, dude. Seriously, fuck you. And then I just figured, I just stopped doing I stopped trying. I just became like, I'm just here for the fucking alcohol and the girls. That's it. I ain't doing shit. I was surly. I was starting to fight because I was drinking way, way, way too much. And I was starting to fight with my best friends, and it was a waste. It was a big waste of 7 years of my life. I mean, of earning years from 34 to 41. I was just a fucking gigolo, right? And, people on the outside, they'd say, "Wow, what a great job you have. What a great job." And I was like, whatever, it's not. You don't want this job. This job's a fucking curse, man. It's an albatross around your neck because it paid just enough for me to pay my mortgage, just enough to pay my kids' cafeteria bills at the school. So finally, I asked. In France, you can do this. You say, "Hey, can you fire me, please?" And my boss, who was getting sick of my shit, because I was sick of his shit, he said, "Oh yeah, just don't come to work. Don't come to work, and then I'll write you up, and then after a week, you'll be fired, and you'll get to 2 years of partial salary." So that's what I did. And in the two years that I was off, I had to work because I've got this work ethic in me. I have to work, right? So I wrote my first novel, which was based on my drinking and fighting and fucking life in France. And the name of that book, it's out of print. It was called The Right Place for Love by Chris Reed. You'll find it on the internet, but you won't be able to buy a copy because they're all gone. Not because it was a bestseller, but because who knows? I don't know why. But anyways, and it's not even a very good book, But it's salacious. It'll teach you a lot about life in France too. I mean, and anyways, that's my story. That's my best teaching job I ever had story. Entre guillemets. These are guillemets. Quotes. Anyways, Love you all. Come to France and teach because you can get it. If you're an English speaker, a native English speaker, you can get a job here tomorrow. And it won't be like that. That school's done. I think COVID killed it. I don't know. COVID, venereal disease, it's not there anymore. So I recommend it. I mean, I recommend traveling the world. You could teach English in Japan. You could, especially if you're young. Old people like me, they don't want anyone over 50 something, but it's a great way to meet people, to learn a foreign language, to just to see the world. You don't need to join the fucking army to see the world. You could travel around and teach English, right? I recommend it highly. Anyways, love you all, and I hope this was helpful.